This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
Welcome to The Voice Party. You're tuning in to a show with Jose Rodiles.
What's up?
What's
you
up?
guys?
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. We're doing great.
First,
up?
Leslie's first day joining the
Hello.
Voice Party crew.
I'm so excited to be here, you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we're glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Once a guest, now a co-host.
Hey.
Look at that.
Yeah, dude. Very special guest. I met you kindergarten. I have pictures.
Yeah. I got those.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That I know. That's crazy.
We might actually even be related. Who knows? You know.
Hey,
Oh, that's deep.
That's deep.
Mexicans in Richmond. You
don't know.
Yeah. We might be brothers. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man, childhood friends are everything. That's all I gotta say. If you can hold on to like some sort of association,
Well,
from that back
but
then,
I hadn't seen him in years. I just the last time I saw you was at a funeral.
Yeah.
That's literally, and that was like what?
Years ago. I don't even
2012.
remember.
Edwin's funeral.
Yeah.
I was about to say that sounds like Richmond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is.
Shady, man. Shady.
That is shady. It is. But that's really when we see each other. And like reunions is all funerals. And it's like, how old are you? 23. Like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, you know, you guys have had that experience, but that's how it is.
Yeah. Definitely.
What have you been up to, man?
Working. Working, being a dad, man. I'm a dad to an 8-month
bro.
little girl.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, she's a blessing.
How do you like her? She cool?
Oh, bro, I love her.
I mean, you better.
I love her.
She alright.
You know, I forgot what comedian had this joke where like, what's your daughter's name? Because it was a newborn. Like, I don't know. She doesn't talk. How's it like being a dad?
It's fun and tiring at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing, man. I love it.
I just got a puppy and that shit's hard. It is.
It is though.
Dog mom life.
Yeah.
I feel it.
At least here's the thing where people say, but that's a dog. You know, this is an actual human. The human's gonna get older and it's gonna learn how to take care of itself. The dog,
yeah.
I know. I'm still watching it.
See,
Yeah.
I know it's not the same, but I'm just saying, like that's my, that's my little, like, you know, yeah. You're gonna have to take care of this shit forever.
That's true. And then
Yeah.
eventually, eventually they'll get old enough to take care of you when you get to be like
The kid.
89.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dog
not the
won't.
dog.
Dog won't.
The dog.
Fucked.
The back legs go out. You gotta carry that motherfucker to shit. You know. Yeah.
I was about to say that'd be impressive. The dog's like bringing you your pills and shit.
See, you should have gotten a dog, bro.
You'll be surprised. This dog's trained.
Yeah, that's true. You seen that dog that gets the guy the beer? Like, that's yeah.
I mean,
you seen that, right? Yeah.
I'm working on it.
we would all like to have a Lassie, right? Where it's like, what's wrong, girl? What? Timmy's in the well?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Gotta do some shrooms and have like some.
Full ass conversation.
Oh man.
You got a crazy. You were part of some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in many different ways, but like just to give everybody some like some history on, we went to elementary school together,
Middle school.
and then I didn't see you high school.
I got kicked out my freshman year.
Yeah,
I
okay.
thought sophomore year. No. Yeah, sophomore year.
Sophomore year, yeah.
Even though you probably
he's
still
a guy.
saw me running the hallways, I didn't go to.
He didn't go to.
No.
Just hanging out.
He's traveling.
out,
He was on
yeah.
tour of all West Contra Costa.
Yeah, definitely. I probably went to like 4 different schools.
He's the one like if you're about to. Hey man, I gotta go beat someone up. I need you to back me up.
Yeah. I got a lot of those calls.
Then we worked together, and then I didn't see. We worked what Little Caesars.
Little Caesars till
shit.
2010.
You did too?
No.
Oh, God, they were like,
but
we-
okay. A lot of people worked at Little Caesars from high school. I feel like.
the San Pablo
Little
one.
Yeah, hell
Caesars,
yeah.
that
Like a lot
was
of
a trap
people
store.
That was a trap store.
Bro, I kid you not. We used to have my supervisor was shooting dice in the freezer. That's how bad it was, bro. You have one guy doing everything, and the supervisor shooting dice with the rest of the coworkers in the freezer. You're like, bro, what the hell? You know?
That was the first time I ever smoked a blunt. Because I had a lot of firsts there too. That was the first time I ever heard a 357 shot
Go
right
off
from
in the back.
And there's a lot of firsts at that fucking Little Caesars. That was like the craziest.
fun.
There was an incident where I think it was you and Frankie.
Yeah.
You guys got into a fight with customers, and you like
God.
pulled some of the guy. They pulled him into the over the register. It was like enemies, you know, like some of their. Well, I guess you guys had beef with somebody.
Yeah.
And then, man, yeah, it was the craziest shit.
Wild.
No, there was one time where they tried to I don't know, I forgot who they. I think they were trying to fight Frankie.
Yeah.
And they thought that, you know, the guys weren't gonna do nothing about it. They didn't realize they were gonna fight the whole store. They were like, "Oh shit!" You know, they came back with bats and everything.
Yeah, dude. It's funny we're mentioning Frankie because when Jonathan was here, Jonas Solis, we mentioned Frankie because that's the guy that was gonna get stabbed, and he. So this show is making Frankie look bad.
No, man, that we didn't go to. Okay, we went to that party because we got that call.
Okay, we're
We got
talking
that
about
call.
we're talking about that Winterfest party where Jonah got stabbed. Yeah, it was. Were you there?
No.
Okay, I think your friends were there.
Probably.
Yeah, it was like this big fucking
Christmas rave.
Christmas rave.
Yeah.
We rented out a hall, and like I think it was like over 100 people for sure. More like 300.
It was
was a
crowded.
lot.
This was in high school?
It was
This was like,
right after
high school.
I was like, damn.
And it ended
College
horribly.
years.
It ended like
bad.
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 It was like fights everywhere. I don't know if I mentioned this story already once, but it was like at one point someone was chasing someone with an axe, and there was hella gunshots. And there was like some guy getting his head stomped right by the tire of the guy that was spinning. Because this guy, he sees all this fighting start like happening in the parking lot, and he gets his fucking Mustang and he just starts doing donuts, and there's fights all around him. I guess someone told me he was hella coked up, so it was just like that seems like the appropriate thing to do when you're coked.
It was something you would see in the movie, man.
Yeah.
It was,
Sounds like
actually,
it.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, taking notes in my head, like, okay, we're gonna find an excuse to film this. Like,
I know, right? Yeah.
Like,
I know
music
what?
video.
I kid you not. If Instagram, if
or
Instagram, and,
Tarantino, like,
Right.
Yeah.
Just dark.
if Instagram and Snapchat would have been around
would've
at that
been
time,
big.
you guys would have had a lot of
would've seen
videos.
it.
Yeah, I remember like a few years after. Remember that movie Project X?
Yeah.
It was like that ain't shit. Dude. First of all,
that ain't nothing.
yeah,
Compared to that
that was like a mess, man. And there were some like gangsters there that didn't get into fights, and they were just watching like, I'm like, I hope they don't get involved. But you were there. I don't remember talking to you that day.
Yeah, you were drunk.
I don't remember you talking.
You were already drunk, bro. You were like, we literally like we pulled up because we got that call. Like, you know, hey, bro, I'm about to get drunk. So I remember we were at home chilling, and we get a call. Hey, bro, they're about to jump. Memo. They were gonna jump Memo. They were trying to get Memo, and
Yeah.
we're like, where is it at? Oh, Crockett over here. Oh, ain't there's that rave. Yeah, all right, let's go. We got there like in 5 minutes from like San Pablo, smashing over there, just taking all the red lights. We get there. I walked in with sweats. I wasn't there for the party,
He's
bro.
wearing
I walked in with sweats in
and
a
hoodie.
rave.
That I don't remember.
And
now.
as soon as it was me, Frankie, and Oscar, my boy, he had just gotten out of a YA camp, so he was
Yeah.
fresh out, you know. So we're walking in there, and first thing I noticed was a guy pointing a pistol at me. Yeah,
That's security for the.
No, it wasn't the
I'm just
security.
kidding.
It was someone else. He's pointing. Me and him actually had history. You know, we had history, whatever. So he's pointing a gun at me,
like-
and I stopped, and I was like,
Romantic history?
romantic history. Yeah. So then I'm just like looking at him, and you know, we got into a little argument, whatever. But when he saw my other two friends come back, he pulled another pistol out on them. And, you know, he started like, hey, bro, don't,
Mexican
come on, man.
stand
Yeah,
up.
he was just like this. Hey, come on, man. Hey, keep him off of me. And they're ready to get, you know, they were going to, you know. So, all that got us situated, whatever. And we started walking.
How did that get situated?
I'm not gonna lie. It seems like he was just waiting for the right opportunity to pull a gun on you. He's like, I've been waiting for years for this. No one's gonna notice if I pop him dead. There's so much stuff going on.
Hey, he shoots both, and it's like comes out bang. All right, this is situated
No,
now.
luckily it got.
This is situated.
Yeah, luckily it got situated because if it wouldn't, you guys would have heard a lot of gunshots.
Oh
around
yeah,
there.
there was hella gunshots though.
That was after though.
After, yeah, there was a lot, and wait, so when the fuck did I see you? I mean, yeah, I was
Bro,
drunk. but
we
I wasn't
literally,
that
as soon as we pulled up, you were like outside trying to get everyone inside, and you were just like,
I had my shirt off, right?
no, not yet.
Okay,
Not yet.
I remember that.
Pre-shirt
So
off.
Okay.
he goes up to me and he's like, Rodiles, please, don't start a fight. And I was like, no, bro, we're good. And so we're walking inside. We're looking for our friend, right? Nothing
Hey, hold on.
happened.
In my defense, I had just put the deposit down on the place, so that's why I was like, hey. Nobody
Need that bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I kid you not. So we were literally just after we got in there, we just nothing was going on, and we're like, you know what? Let's just go. Everything's all right. Whatever. We were actually walking on our way out, and I guess by the entrance there was like a ramp going down of the hall. So we're literally walking out 5-6 deep, and then we're looking for Frankie. Got lost.
Yeah.
That day, Frankie. We're looking for Frankie. So we're like, hey, where's
Shout out to
Frankie?
Frankie. He
Yeah, shout out to
listens.
Frankie.
He
Swoop,
listens.
what's up? So we're walking out. We're all screaming, hey, Frankie, where you at, Frankie? And there was a dude walking with us that we didn't realize, like, we didn't know who he was.
He just joined your crew.
He just joined our crew. He was
That
like,
crew
yeah.
looks cool.
And he just started screaming out of nowhere, yeah, fuck Frankie, we're gonna get him. We were just turning around. We were like, what? Oh, it was a wrap, man. He started. It was just everything broke off right there. It was just everything happened. It just started cracking and.
It was crazy because I was remember we were set up like above the ceiling or whatever, like the DJ setup.
Yeah.
I was up there, and I just saw it all. Like I was like, oh my god! Like if I had a Nokia, you know, I couldn't film anything, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just like craziness, man. There was like shoes. Someone broke like 2 toilets and the sink in the bathroom. Then someone told me like. This is the weirdest shit. Some girl in the bathroom was like, she went into the men's bathroom and she took off her clothes and she wanted to train, and everybody that walked in, she was like, "Come on!" And I was like, ugh.
Bruh, can't take people nowhere. Like,
She must have been on some.
Something.
Violence.
A lot of people were
course.
on hella shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh boy.
yeah, it was crazy.
It was nuts.
But I didn't see you then after that until we saw each other at Edwin's funeral.
Yeah.
And then after that, we've been through some shit.
Definitely.
You and I have been through some shit, and you got a story to tell about that, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you want to share or
Well, for the listeners, I got incarcerated. Those who know me, they know this story.
yeah.
I got incarcerated back in 2015. Got arrested in 2013. I was fighting the case for about 2 years. I did about 4 years for that. I just paroled about. It's 2 years now. Since I
2
paroled.
years?
2 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I've been out, but the whole time I was in there, I was actually, for those who don't know this, there's something called fire camps, you know, prison firefighters, inmate firefighters.
Yeah.
And I did most of my time there. I was actually out there fighting fires with Cal Fire, next to Cal Fire. Santa Rosa Fire, yeah, we were there since the first night.
Wow.
So that was something, that was an experience, bro.
Yeah.
That was an experience where it's like you were only seeing a movie.
I got a question for you about that. When you first started, did you have a thought like we're inmates, they're probably just gonna throw us to the first ones to maybe like if we dive they don't care? Did you ever think about that? Because that's the first thing I would have thought.
Well,
Like all the suicide.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad.
Some
Yeah.
headshots.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what. So because I didn't even know about this program until I was already incarcerated.
Yeah.
And that's when you hear.
Me neither. Well, and not when I was
Yeah.
incarcerated, but like you know, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, well, you start hearing other inmates talk about it. Hey, try to go to fire camp. Try to go to fire camp. And we're just like, well, what's fire camp? You know, oh, it's like a place where you could go and be firefighters while you're incarcerated. And we were like, well, how does that work? Oh, well, you got to qualify. Okay, so how do you want me to try? You know?
Right.
So I guess, so before you get, just to get a little quick update, okay, before you get sentenced, well, after you get sentenced, they send you to reception. which is you'll go to a prison the nearest to you and sit there until you meet like your counselor, right? You'll sit there for a few months till you meet your counselor, and they decide how. Well, they're gonna look at your case and they're gonna decide, okay, well, you know what, your case is too violent or it's not. We're gonna send you to this place. So luckily, I remember we were in San Quentin. I met with my counselor. They sent me to Susanville, which was up by Reno. That's where the fire camp starts. That's where they do all the training. So once they told me I was going to Susanville, I was like, okay, cool. That's one step closer. You know, I might be able to get in here. But once you get to Susanville, you meet with another counselor, and they decide whether you're gonna be able to qualify for a fire camp or not. If not, you're just gonna sit on that yard, which it's gonna suck because all you're gonna see is nothing but people come and go, and you're stuck. You're sitting there. So I ended up qualifying after a few months of sitting there, and they ended up sending me to Canocti Fire Camp, which is located in Lake County. Right there off like a little high. If those who know where Lake County's at, it's like right above Napa County.
Okay.
So we were
know that.
It's a lot of rednecks.
I think I read some.
I know that.
I read somewhere that like there's fire camps in 27 counties and something.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
And there's like what 3,000 inmates that are working in fire camps.
More, it's more now since the fire.
It's
started.
actually less now.
Less?
Less now with pandemic going on, and when we were right before I actually paroled, there was talks about certain camps were gonna close down and they were gonna unite camps because of I don't know, California politics and all that.
Yeah.
But each camp has 5 to 6 crews. Each crew has about 10 to 15 guys, and you got to fit all these guys in the CCV with a bus, small bus. So imagine having 16 inmates fit in the back of a small bus. It's hectic in there. It's just you're too crowded. Sometimes you're just gonna see fights in there because people, some guys get cranky. They're tired, get cranky after a fight. They start arguing, bumping heads, or you're gonna like, oh.
And you guys train how many hours? Like when you were in the camp?
Well, once you're in the camp, you train all year long. All year long. They actually take you to work. You work for the county. You'll go do jobs for the county. They'll take you kind of like landscaping.
Yeah.
And then but before you go to camp, you have to get qualified. You have to pass like a fitness and a written test. So they're not just gonna throw you there. If you qualify, you have to pass a test for you to be a firefighter. You have to the physical test is like a 2-week training. They take you hiking up the hills over there in like the Sierra Nevada mountains over there. Well, not Nevada, but by that area where all the big
Neva up there. Yeah.
So you gotta first of all hang with the hikes. Sometimes you hike 5 to 8 miles, snowy or mud or it depends on the terrain. You'll be out there hiking. You gotta pass like a running test. It's a lot like pull-ups, dips, all that stuff. You pass all that, and then after you pass the physical test, you just take the written test. So now you gotta kind of like learn some questions and answers and all that, and then you're set. But they don't teach you everything in fire camp, man. Like before you go, they don't prepare you at all for what you're about to experience. All you hear.
They kind of throw you out there in the wild.
Exactly, because COs aren't gonna tell you, hey, you're gonna have a good good time over there. Now you hear that from the inmates. They only tell you, oh yeah, go to fire camp. There's hella phones. You're like, oh, all right. And then, if you like drugs, hey, go to fire camp. There's hella crystal. There's hella, all right, cool, let's go.
Wow.
So people, exactly.
Fighting those fires. You've been at it for 28 hours straight. Like, yeah. So, the fire's gone, buddy. Like, you're making mud.
Dude, they won't, I kid you not, bro.
That's what Hitler used to do. Give
him crack.
With the Nazis, he give him meth.
Meth, yeah.
That's when they first started experimenting with methamphetamine and so they're like, all right, my soldiers who are going out to the Eastern Front to go fight in Russian fucking winter.
They couldn't handle the weather, though.
Right? So it's like, but if we give them drugs, they'll be able to do it. And then those people, God bless those krauts. They were so focused after they're like, cold? What cold? We're going to find them.
They fucking die freezing.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't shock me at all. And
so that's what they were like. There's hella crystal there.
That's why a lot of inmates wanted to go to majority.
Please, Lord, let there be some more fires.
But they don't tell you. They don't tell you that when you get to camp, you have to go to work. So I remember when I was already at camp, we used to get all these inmates that were new and
They
get there, and as soon as, because sometimes after I had almost during my time, they had put me in the warehouse where I was just kind of like receiving them and just kind of getting geared up and ready for fires and all that. And I'll tell them, "Oh, you're gonna need this for work." What? We work here? I mean, yeah, bro, it's fire camp, you know. Then, hey, they never told me nothing about working, you know. So they come like thinking they were just gonna chill and hang out. Nah, bro, you gotta. If you want to stay here, you gotta work, bro.
work.
Yeah.
How was the treatment during the process of like training and everything like that? Treatment towards the inmates.
Well, during while we were at the yard, because they move us from a big yard to a way smaller yard for the people that are training. So you're sitting there. The COs, they will come and they will fuck with you. They will try to like literally get you to like fuck up.
Fuck up, yeah.
Because they just want to keep you there, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes you kind of
like military style shit.
yeah, well, prison, you know, for anyone that's been in prison, you guys know how the politics and all that is. But for those who hasn't been to prison, you're pretty much in a gang. Whoever you run with, you're in a gang.
Right.
So when you land, wherever you land, they're gonna have that talk with you. They're gonna tell you, hey, you know what? This is the rules. Follow them. If you don't follow them, there's consequences. You don't want to mess it up for another race or anyone else, because then there's consequences towards you.
Damn.
So when we go to that area, everyone kind of like has that talk. Hey, don't fuck up. We got COs that will come and pretty much, because you fuck. Let's say I fuck up, they'll come and they'll throw a black dude's stuff out because of my fault. Now that creates problems, you know, because the guy's gonna be mad. And now it creates more problems if they find something on him, so that now he's getting, you know, wrapped up about it.
And that's how they
Let me clarify. So you're saying that if you do something, the COs will mess with someone else,
Different race,
to instigate shit.
They'll
Just to
instigate shit.
That's horrible.
That's
Just
fucked up.
so you, because they want to start shit. So you guys, you know what? We're not gonna send them to camp.
So that's how a lot of the war starts. Sometimes you think.
Yeah, yeah.
The
majority-
instigation between the jails.
Yeah, sometimes.
Divide and conquer.
Now,
I mean, sometimes for sure.
Sometimes
Not
for
all
sure.
the time.
is it safe to assume that they are motivated to have you screw up and keep you there because of the for-profit situation?
Definitely.
The more butts in cells they have, the
Yeah.
more money, so they're motivated to get you angry, to get you.
That
but
part.
but at what cost? I mean, what if you end up killing each other? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh,
They'll get more.
you're just a number to them.
That's
You're
for
not.
Sure.
Yeah.
They really don't. You're just a number to them most of the time.
I hate to turn this
insane.
conversation to stupidity again, but whenever you say like, because of movies, you know, like Life, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
When you say like camp, I picture the guy who's like in charge, the CO, on a horse. Was that a thing? No.
No.
You know what I'm talking
not
about,
in
right?
2020.
I know, but I just picture that.
Back
You
in the
know.
day, yeah.
Oh, it's different now.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Now-
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be on the golf cart, not a horse. You know?
That's worse.
But
The horse is faster.
yeah,
I know. I hate to fucking go back to that, but my whole time I was thinking, I gotta ask this question.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So that kind of treatment leading into you guys actually training and obviously at this point you're training for it and stuff like that. Would it continue?
Yeah, it would. It would.
Oh, so after like
Because
you're
I
good.
just feel like at this point, yeah, you're clearly doing something heroic at this point,
For
right?
real.
Like, and that's where it's like kind of a blurred line, right? Because they're like, oh, they're prisoners. Oh, but they're like, you're literally saving people's lives,
Yeah.
people's houses, like, and that's what throws me off.
Yeah, no. Once you actually make it to camp, it's different. It's different. You still at camp. It's a camp is like just a regular camp. You know, there's no walls. There might be fences, but there's no walls.
Sure.
They don't have COs out and about. You know, keep an eye on you. No, they're gonna do their count every 2 hours to make sure no one escapes. Because you can literally walk out of a camp.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. But if you walk out of a camp, that's a 2. If they catch you, well, they're gonna catch you.
Right.
Most of the time, all the guys I seen walk out got caught in like 2-3 days.
Damn.
Wow.
So you walk out of camp, that's a 2-year term.
Oh wow.
So and you lose your camp privilege. So you will never ever.
So you just be
Be
back in
even
the.
qualified
You'll just be
for
in the
that,
yard
yeah.
forever. You know, you won't even be like for the yard. I mean for camp. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, it's my understanding that this program has been in effect since World War II, right? Like, it's not new.
no. It's not.
But I know
Oh,
that,
really? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But I do know that what is new is they're pushing, like the recent legislation that was put out a few years back, is they're pushing more towards legitimizing firefighters trained this way, so that once you get out, there may be some sort of opportunity. Is there an opportunity for you to work with the fire department now, or is it still some sort of a block? What's going on with that?
So, I don't know. I heard it got approved, but I don't know when it goes to effect. Let me just clear this for those who don't know. You can only work with CAL FIRE.
CAL FIRE.
You can't do no structural firefighting.
Oh, so you can only...
Depends on your case and depends how they take it.
Yeah.
But it's just for vegetation firefighters, which is two different things. And those who don't know this, CAL FIRE and structural firefighters are different. CAL FIRE is wildland only. But they're also trained for structurals, you know, and structural firefighters.
So you couldn't work for like a department here?
No departments. I would only be able to work for vegetation fires.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
How many fires did you work, like, you know, putting out?
Oof, a lot, bro.
That's crazy because I thought there was only like, I mean, in my head, I think there was only like what, 6 since like the last 4 years.
No, you guys.
I mean, the whole state was on fire.
The whole
last
state.
year.
Yeah.
6 big ones.
6 big ones, yeah.
You guys only hear about the big fires.
Oh,
you know, but there's 10-acre fires going on somewhere else. There's 20 acres that doesn't make the news. There's small 2-acre fires that, you know, there's about every year there's at least more than 1,000 fires. Yeah.
I want to know how your first experience was, like first time going out there, like this is it, you've trained for it, now you're doing it.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You weren't scared?
No, I
Holy
thought it. I
shit.
mean, I was nervous. I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
You're picturing yourself as Rambo?
All right, well, it's normal to be a little nervous. If you weren't
Yeah.
nervous at all, I'd be a little unnerved.
I know.
Right, yeah.
Psychopath sitting in front of us.
I know, yeah.
We're on the way to the fire.
I'm a nervous
And I remember I was asking questions. All right, so where's the water hose? They were like, we ain't got no water hose. And I was like, what? How are we going to do this?
You gotta go to the nearest water source, like the lake
Yeah.
over there, and scoop it up with your hands.
Where's the water?
Wait, so is that how it worked? Like
No. We're inmate firefighters. They do scraping. They scrape the line. So vegetation fires, most of the time, the way they get put out, you have to do a scratch line around the fire so it stops spreading.
Oh, so like to break up
I
the dry grass
exactly.
or whatever.
You want to kind of give a border around it,
And you just
with dirt.
contain it, right?
And
Basically.
contain it, just
I
kind of
see.
keep it in the circle. So
'cause it'll die down eventually kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once it passes that burn area, it's not gonna go back because it's already burned.
Right,
unless
right.
there's some more stuff that didn't really catch.
For sure.
Yeah. So
Dang.
we were pretty much like landscaping. I called it extreme landscaping, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We were out there calling it extreme landscaping, bro, because you're out there really landscaping. You're just cutting.
That would be a
How very
dope.
90s
That would be a
of you.
dope reality show.
Extreme landscaping.
You have no
hey,
idea.
Hey, copyright that right now.
Extreme landscaping.
Extreme landscaping, bro.
CBS is gonna have to buy it from us. Come on, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
We could make that a show. Phil, we could make that a show.
I mean, you can make anything a show
That's
these
true.
days.
That's true. I'm sorry. So it was like, so you were just basically containing it.
Containing
Because
it.
you really can't fucking spray all
No,
that
they
shit
wouldn't
out.
unless sometimes they'll give us. Well, if you wanted a spray, they give you a water pump. It's like a 5-gallon backpack
Yeah.
with a little pump, but
Yeah.
it's like a little.
Right.
You're better off with a super soaker. You know,
If like the fire is near like a big body of water, do you guys just like do some kind of pump?
No. Well, the engines do. You got because most of the time you got CAL FIRE engines that are working with us. We're working next to CAL FIRE, so they'll have us there with the firefighters.
Yeah.
So they are the ones with the water. Sometimes if they even call a helicopter, which most of the time they'll try to call it depending on the fire and how dangerous it is, they'll have a water chopper bringing water and letting the water down and everything.
Did that shit, the stuff they drop in, what is it? It's not water.
No,
right?
it's water. So okay,
It looks,
so you got.
it looks like sand though.
Oh no, that's the.
Did any of
retardant.
what I was gonna? This is another stupid question. Did any of that shit ever get on you?
Hell yeah.
They probably have way better questions for a lot of this. I'm just thinking of the stupid shit that I think of, like when I see like on TV. Like I wonder if that shit, like my eyes, you know.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's this water. Well, the retardant,
Yeah.
it's some like foam
Okay,
stuff.
that's
you know?
weird.
Foam on
Really?
there too? I never
Yeah.
seen
They
that.
throw retardant. Like the big planes, the
Yeah.
ones that you see flying and throwing
It
on
looks
the
like
head.
it looks like sand or
That's
whatever.
that's
red, yeah.
retardant. They'll go and they'll just drop retardant, but it doesn't stop it. It slows it down. So the choppers are the ones that are really trying to put the fire out
water.
because they're just dropping water and water on them. Dude, that's
wild.
fun, especially when you're on a fire and it's hell out. Because most of the time it's more than 100 degrees out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one time we got water dropped on us. Oh, that
Felt
felt
nice.
so good.
You just picture all
We were
the
like, ah.
Beautiful mistake ever.
with long hair, like fucking.
Yeah, man.
It's like running through the hydrant all over.
Was that what was that movie? Flashdance when she does the bucket of water on her.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say compared to holes, you know, at the end.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it never like rained and then finally rained, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, happy."
That's what I picture it.
That's how we got when we went to the showers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
What
So-
kind of?
oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
What kind of equipment did they provide you with?
well, we get Nomix. We get a Nomix, which is just like the Cal Fire suits,
Okay.
but ours is orange.
Oh, okay,
We
right.
get the same equipment they got without the water hose.
Okay.
So no
got
water.
it.
So then they provide us with a backpack. With you get canteens, like 4 canteens, little first aid kits, whatever,
Okay.
and then they give us a few little things for the hoses because sometimes once it's a big fire, they'll have us kind of mop up, which means you'll grab a hose from the Cal Fire, put some little, whatever, the little tips on them,
Okay.
and just go make sure the waters are like the fire's kind of out.
I see.
But the backpack, we normally use it for equipment that we're gonna carry out there because majority of the time on big fires, we stay on the line. We don't go back and no, we sleep out there on the dirt.
Oh shit.
So we carry extra clothes like a sweater, a jacket, a blanket, or something that fits. Because obviously you can't take nothing extra. You
Yeah.
gotta make it fit.
Wow.
And they'll give you like a 5-pound lunch sometimes. So you gotta.
I'm gonna leave the lunch.
Yeah.
That's the one. I'll take the lunch before.
Did you see like a lot of wildlife?
Oh, bro, we came across a bear one day. Yeah, it was. We were by.
Burning or like
No,
just
it was
running away?
just-
No, yeah, because I'm sure you saw a lot of
bears on
animals
fire.
burn.
Oh, we
For
saw.
real?
Yeah, we did. We
Yeah,
saw,
like
you
those
see a lot
koalas and that's fucked up. Like, remember the
Oh,
koalas?
I
Oh
did see
no!
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
no.
bringing me back.
Right.
Well, I mean, it just because that's like a big thing about
close
wildlife.
that door.
wildfires.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
like deer and shit. I'm sure you saw a lot of that too, huh?
We saw a lot of that.
Like burning.
The ones
They
that
actually
didn't
burn.
burn were rats, bro. Those guys were just
Fucking-
all over the place.
Those are the
They're
ones that
built
went
different.
extinct.
The rats are like the cockroaches of the mammal world.
Bro, we'll be out there working and we just see one on fire. Oh shit!
Spreading the fire.
Yeah, bro. We were like, hey.
And
One time they
probably
made us
carrying
chase.
a litter of rats under with the dude.
One time they made us chase a rabbit because it was on fire, right? And he jumped into the green, which
I
the
picture
green,
the.
Oh my god.
You say that. You know that movie, the song, the Benny. What was that song? Like I just pictured them all chasing the rabbit to Benny. Damn it,
Hill?
Benny Hill song.
Oh, yeah.
You know the Benny Hill song?
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
never mind.
How did it go? Oh.
I
Sing it.
Yeah.
No, it's
Hum it.
when there's like old movies and there's like they're chasing each other like Three Stooges. It's
Oh,
like, yeah. I picture that like chasing the rabbit. Hey, so the rabbit was spreading
the
fire.
rabbit was spreading
Put 'em
fire.
out.
That could be a show.
Rabbits on fire.
Rabbit's on fire.
Bro, we just
That's crazy. Damn.
Yeah,
It's
so-
crazy because that's what I'm saying. Wildlife could spread the fire even
Yeah.
more.
So
And
the time you ran into a live bear.
Oh yeah,
How
talk about
close
that.
were you guys to that?
from here to the garage.
Holy shit.
And them things are fast too. It's
right
not
next
like
to you.
some slow lumbering.
Yeah,
you
was
know-
it grizzly or not
I
grizzly?
think it was just a regular brown bear.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you could punk those easily.
Yeah, it
I'd
didn't.
be like, oh!
But it was weird because I've never seen a bear close,
Yeah.
So we were actually over there by Red Bluff, I think, and we were done just cutting about 1.5 miles of line, and we were hiking back down. It was nighttime. It was dark, so we got our little headlamps on our helmets. So we're just walking, and we just see someone stop, and he froze. And we're like, what the hell? What's going on? And we got closer, and the bear's just walking. Like,
But
Did it didn't even see you?
no, he just mind his own beat. He just kept
okay,
walking.
okay.
Yeah, he probably stayed away from you if you're a big group
No,
of people.
yeah, we were a lot of
Yeah.
we were a lot of us, but we were just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
How many fires did you say you did? Like over 100?
over
right?
100 easily.
I got a question for you about that. Like, let's say at your 50th.
Uh-huh.
Do you at once you're at like okay you guys have worked hella fires. Is there like more of a respect from the COs? Like these guys are heroes.
Okay, now about that.
Yeah.
At camp,
Yes.
right? Our camp. I feel like we had the coolest camp.
Okay,
Our
cool.
COs were my respect to the COs, even though we're inmates and COs, but those guys didn't really mess with us.
Yeah.
In camp, you got a lot of guys that come and go, and a lot of guys that come and fuck up. And then you got a lot of guys that come and actually do their time.
Yeah.
So the guys that come and fuck up, those guys get the most shit from the COs because we're representing their camp, their job, and let's say it's like 10 COs per camp. If we make them look bad, they get shit from the warden of the big big heads.
And then if you guys all fuck up, then they're just gonna cancel.
Yeah,
the shit.
they're just gonna fucking what the,
It just trickles down.
And,
so-
and to be fair, if someone, when you say fuck up, you mean like break a rule, like try to escape.
No, we make them look bad. Like let's say if they start bringing attention to the COs, then okay, let's say we got fights going on the fire, which has happened. I've been there before,
Fights in the fire.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely.
That could be a show too. Fights in the fire.
Or a video.
So now you gotta call the cops to get these guys out. You're making them look bad. So now you're just getting shit from the warden.
Yeah.
So we do get respect from certain COs. Like I was at that camp for about 3 years. 3 years. And I was a sawyer. So each crew has 2 sawyers, 2 pullers. A sawyer runs the saw who starts off the cuts and the scrapes by cutting everything out the way so the guys can come behind you and scrape. And each sawyer has a puller who's going to pull everything out the way that you cut to the side.
Is that what those old school saws with 2 guys running it?
No.
I don't know what that. Okay.
It's a regular chainsaw.
Oh, chainsaw.
It's a chainsaw.
Oh,
with
yeah, where they just
bar.
go like this straight up, hella fast.
Yeah.
Because that's what, in the old days, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like long time ago. Yeah. My bad.
So I was actually first saw for my crew. I was a chainsaw user. So in the chainsaw guys normally get the most respect from the COs in the camp because you're going. It's tough work.
Yeah, you're the first. You're the first one,
and you gotta be in shape to do it, and you have to just. If you're like a good sawyer, you're gonna get probably treated good at camp because if they let a good sawyer go from their camp and they bring a shitty sawyer.
Right.
That's just you're gonna make them look bad, and they don't want that,
Sounds like a
You put me as the
job.
sawyer in the front. Hold on, come on, just go.
I feel like you get more. I feel like as a sawyer, you get more. You get away with more shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got caught with some phones that I shouldn't have. And
You had phones and you didn't take video of all these incredible shit.
I was on live out there. I actually have a video on my Instagram page of a fire.
Oh,
Yeah,
I gotta look
While
at
you were
that.
out there?
we were out there, and I had more videos. I just don't. They were on the phones that got taken.
We out here. We out here.
Bro, it used to be funny.
That's
man.
crazy. When you said fights, like, god damn, like that's crazy to me.
Fun
but
don't stop.
Fun
So,
don't. Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
story, right? I had my first fire. This is my first fire. Because even though you're at camp, you still have to follow the politics, the rules from inmates, because you're always gonna have people in contact with the guys in the upper yards.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you at, you still gotta follow those rules. So
shit.
we're at a fire. It's my first fire. I was there for 4 days. I'm loving it. I'd rather be there than the yard.
Yeah.
And we're on this 1 acre fire, and we're almost done cutting fire. And I remember, so each crew has a swamper, which is like the captain's right hand man, because he has to be the last guy behind all the crew, and he has to make sure everything's on point. So our swamper, which was like a big saw sider, right, wanted to fight a white boy. And they were both kind of tall. And I remember they started arguing. I don't know what the whole point it was. I guess the guy gave him like, hey, do this. And the guy was like, you ain't going to tell me what to do? What you said to me? Well, I'll fuck you up. And I'm just, they're like, bro, I don't want to go back to the yard.
The fire is getting closer.
Yeah, because eventually, so those like prison rules, if like let's say I ran with the paisas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a paisa,
So you weren't affiliated with.
Nah, I was affiliated, but we ran with the South. Like we were kind of clicked up with the Southsiders.
Okay.
Yeah. But so if a Southsider fights, I have to jump in.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So so I was like, fuck, I don't want to fucking go back, you know. So I was trying to calm the fight. Hey, bro, chill out. You know, I just got here, bro.
Don't mess this up for me.
Yeah.
Por favor, señores, no se peleen.
But after a while, you just be like, whatever, you know. If it happens, it happens. Yeah.
That's it. You bring up a good point, man. Because like with prison politics, they still in play while you're at the fire.
Yeah.
Do you ever were you ever surrounded by like, let's say, some kind of enemies around you, and you're in the fire, and like, what if these fools try to do some shit?
I wouldn't say there's enemies there, bro. Okay. Another thing, okay, por ejemplo,
that's where I would be fucked up in the head. Like, you know, let's say the yard is having problems, and then they get the messages to you, and you're like the only one, like,
yeah, you have to. I remember. Okay, so mainline, right? You have Southsiders, Northerners, white boys, others, blacks, and paisas.
What's
right?
others?
Others are like Hawaiians,
I'm just
Filipinos, Asians, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. It's crazy because you just say others. It's just
yeah.
You didn't even mention Asians in the lineup.
Yeah, no, they're included with others.
They're included with others. Because there's what's less of, right? Like,
yeah, those are the Usos, the Tongans, and all that, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So in prison, you're not gonna have really an enemy. The only enemies that were kind of like out there were the Southsiders and the Northerners. Yeah. And they were kind of like, they were at a point where it was green light at all time, no matter where you was at. But that actually, I was in the yard when they actually did a peace treaty.
Wow.
Yeah, they did a peace treaty, and you know they're just, it's
more. I've never heard of that.
Me neither. That's really
it's
cool.
more about,
I'm glad there's peace treaties.
It's more about respect. You're not,
sure.
you know, you could be in the dorm and you could be like, you're gonna be in the dorm with a lot of different races, but it's more about respect. All the fights there normally are about, you know, drugs or owing people, and or, you know, someone doesn't get along, bump heads, and you know,
business.
Yeah,
more
most
business.
of the time, you know, but it's always gonna be about respect. I've seen Northerners and Southsiders get along more than anyone else.
Then together.
And sometimes they're family.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Exactly.
Man, I heard this comedian the other day who did this routine called Mexicans Got on Boots. And in the story, he's an African-American comedian. Okay. And he gets to prison on his first day, and then, like, he sees some guy walking around telling other people in their cells, hey, yo, Mexicans got on boots, Mexicans got on boots. So he starts walking around asking people, like, he's like, yo, I turn to the dude nearest to me. I'm like, yo, Mexicans got on boots? Because maybe I should be telling other people this information. So he's like, well, he starts asking, like, he asked his cellmate, he's like, all right, what does it mean that Mexicans got on boots? And then the Mexican that he's talking to, because he has a Mexican cellmate, goes, oh, that just means there's going to be a riot later. And then, like, oh, did I sound too far away?
You were talking into the side of the mic instead of the front of the mic.
No, but was it too far away with the audio?
No, but you were talking into the side that it doesn't pick up.
All right.
Mexicans got on boots. What were you saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, I mean, you could have told me.
No, I know. He signaled to me. It was like, we're talking prison. And
You weren't supposed to know.
Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, so essentially the revelation is that the reason they're saying Mexicans got on boots, he's like, that's relevant because most of the time when they're out in the yard, they're in their sneakers for whatever hacky sack or whatever. But when they have on boots, that means they're going to stomp your face in, and there's going to be like a race riot thing. And so, what do you recommend that I do? I mean, are you going to stab me? Because I mean, we just finished a meal together, right? I mean, and then the dude's just like, I mean, it's just how it is. So then he starts running around like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And then finally, someone says, you got to look up this guy named Harry or whatever. It's like, all right, why? Because Harry's going to hook you up with a knife. So he goes to Harry, and then Harry's like, all right, I'll hook you up with something. He's like, here's a set of knives. He's like, well, what are you looking for? It's like, I don't know. It's my first time with you. It's like, all right, new motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's bad for him to be new. He's like, I didn't want to be here in the first place. You downgraded me for being new. So then the dude's like, all right, well, business. Give me 2 things of coffee for a knife. We'll handle it that way. He's like, well, what do you want? I don't know. What do you think I should have? He's like, well, I suggest something personal. So then, like, he comes back later on, and the dude's like, I sold your knife. What do you mean you sold my knife? And he's like, well, someone came in with 3 bags of coffee. It was just business. Oh, before it wasn't business? Like, so anyway, they have the riot, and then there's, like, the fights break out, and he's like, man, I got my ass whooped by a Mexican who didn't even have boots on. You know what I mean? But I said all that to
he was barefoot.
but I would like to like throw in this concept of like the racial divide in prison for people who spend time in prison under that whole like, all right, blacks over here, Latinos over here. Does that carry on with you once you're outside? And also, this is a 2-parter. Someone like myself, I'm African American, but I'm also Latino. Like, I'm half. So do I get an option where I go? Like, my last name is Lascano. I should be able to just be like, I mean,
Primo.
yeah, or maybe I could be like, well, I mean, I listen to more hip hop than reggaeton. So how would that work out? You know,
It depends on the individual, right?
It depends on the individual. For you, for example, if you would ever land, hopefully not, you know, that depends on who you feel more comfortable around with.
Knock on wood.
You know, yeah. So if you want to go with the primos, just learn some Spanish, bro. But you probably might get shit from the blacks
Because there is some, like, I read one of my old neighbors. He came out of prison, his brother, and he was in Norteño while he was in prison. And I was like, what? I'm like, I had never heard of that.
Yeah, you're gonna, because most of the time you're gonna have to choose who you're gonna run with.
Yeah.
And like, I remember I was meeting all these guys from down south, you know, LA and all that area, and they weren't gangbangers. They were just running Southsiders, but they were running as a resident.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean they gangbang, but inside you're running with them.
Yeah.
That's who you got. That's who you're gonna have their back, and they're gonna have your back.
I'll share this because one of my coworkers in the union, big white dude with like Aryan Brotherhood tattoos everywhere, Nazi tattoos. But he was like, I mean, you know, obviously I'm not racist. He's like, you know, we're cool. He's like, it's just in prison.
It means
I would have gotten my ass beat because there was a big old war between the blacks and the whites, and he's like, I just had to click up, and he was in for like
for protection,
years, more for protection. He's like, before jail, I was cool with Mexicans and blacks.
Yeah,
it's like, did you have to get the tattoos though, like permanent markers?
You know,
well, some of those tattoos, I mean, it's a different life.
Different world.
It's a different world. Once you go in there. It's hard to explain it, but being in there, I used to always go in there talking about, no, I'm just gonna do my time. Oh no, bro, you get sucked into it.
Yeah,
You just become someone that you're kind of not, and you just start living by that lifestyle. I remember they were telling me, they were like, hey, bro, when you go in there, don't go volunteering for any work. Just go do your time and mind your business. You know.
Yeah.
First thing I did when I got in the yard, I'll do it. You know, let me do it. You know, I was trying to volunteer, but because I feel like that would earn your more respect, your strives, more ranking and all that, because it's politics, but it's also a gang. You know, they see like you got soldiers, captains, generals, you got all that stuff. You know, that's how it goes by.
Yeah.
Now, I've always looked up to the story of. Now, I don't agree with everything Malcolm said, but I looked up to his story about how he reinvented himself in prison, and he pretty much just said, "All right, I'm just going to sit in my cell. I'm going to read and educate myself, and." Everyone else just leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I would like to think that I could maybe do something like that, but it's probably more difficult.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Were there any people at all that were kind of like on their own individually loners or anything like that?
They kind of were, but they were still.
But they were also the ones that threw shit at you, right? I've heard of that. Those are the loners.
Okay, no, those guys are different. Those guys, we were separated from those guys.
Yeah.
So those are called PCs, protective custody people. Where all the rapists and all the child, all those snitches and all that stuff they keep us separated from them. For example, one of our main rules is, if you see a PC, a snitch, or something on the anywhere you at.
Because you got to carry their papers, right?
They sometimes, most of the time they carry papers. But if you know someone that's labeled as a snitch or someone that's a PC, if you see him anywhere, you got to rush him. You automatically got to rush him, no matter where you at. You have to go and take off on them.
Oh shit.
So
because this is when one of my family members told me that when the papers is because you said you look like what was papers? It shows what you
it shows
what you did. And everybody carries it. This cousin of mine was in Nevada, and he said crew he was running with, they put him to go and check papers. Like that was his job, big dude. So he checked this one dude's papers, and he's like, okay, wow. He's like, wow. They would be like, wow, this guy tried to shoot down a plane, or a helicopter, So that's why were you doing?
California is more different. California is one of the most hated prison systems in the U.S.
Really?
Because we actually have politics and all that racial divided thing going on. But once you land at a yard, whichever yard it is, mainline or wherever you're at, they send someone automatically to the window and they ask for your paperwork right away. You give them your paperwork, they take it, they read it, come back, you're good. Then you don't have to carry your paperwork anymore because obviously you're in the mainline, you're in that yard.
Yeah.
If you're a PC, they're not going to tell you nothing. They're just going to hand you back your paperwork. Like let's say someone goes in there for let's say snitching or raping someone, right? As soon as we get the paperwork, we receive it. Oh, this guy's bad. Send him back the paperwork. Okay, don't say nothing. As soon as he comes out that door, they're gonna have people waiting for him. Oh, and they're gonna take him out.
Now PC is police contact, right?
No, protective custody.
Oh, protective custody.
Protective custody.
Man,
so that's that's like a rule at every prison, huh?
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
a rule at every prison. So yeah.
So this is basically inmates checking other inmates.
Yeah. And especially like, I mean, because it's not just California, right? Like that's everywhere.
That's well, I don't know, because I've heard Nevada is ran differently. Okay. I've heard they actually have them together.
Because in the East Coast, what's his name? The dude Johnny Depp played him. Whitey Bulger, the Irish gangster.
Was it what? No,
he got killed by some Italian dude, and it's just because their rules is any snitch. It was different gangs or whatever.
I think it was Machine Gun Kelly.
No. Whitey Bulger got killed in prison. Yeah. He was like 89. And he,
What movie
Black
was
Mass,
this in?
Black
Oh,
Mass.
Black. Oh, right. I was thinking about Public Enemy.
No, yeah. But anyways, it's so like outside of it's just, when you went outside, this is something I know some prisoners have a hard time. Is like I have family members who after they came out of prison, they're still used to like what was that movie? Don't Be a Menace. When they pass, he's eating a steak and they pass him his shank and he shanks the steak. he looks behind with the mirror. He's like, "Who is that with my woman?"
It's true. You get so used to living a certain way. When you come home, you're still used to it, and it takes time to adopt. It took me about a year to adopt being out here.
Wow. It's been 2 years already, right?
It's been 2 years. So I still got certain little habits that I can't let go. But when you come home, you're just, because you're not used to being out. You're used to being in a contained place, but being with your guards up at all times. So I came home, I'm over here just looking around all over. My girl used to tell me, "What's wrong with you? Why you keep looking?" I'm like, "No, I'm just." But for me, that's
I don't see the CO. I'm nervous.
No, so for me, I thought it was normal because I'm just keeping my guards up to see who's around me. Right. You know, you want to make sure there's no foul movement or whatever, because that's how it is in there. You always want to be on your toes because you never know. You just anything. They're not going to tell you when they're going to charge.
Right. It sounds like something akin to PTSD too.
For sure.
Yeah. You've been in a war zone for how long? Like,
and then the fires alone could give you PTSD.
Yeah.
Well, that's why also being at camp, I feel like it helped me out a lot because it could have been worse if I would have stayed in the yard.
Yeah. You get some more sucked into the life.
More sucked in.
The politics.
So, definitely. So even though camp has that, actually, I feel like it made my time go by smooth because I don't have a problem with working. You know, I like, I'll work my ass off. So when at camp, you're working from Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 o'clock. So I'm out there having fun with the chainsaw, bro. I'm cutting shit down. I'm over here.
You're a hard ass worker.
Yeah, so I'm over there.
We worked Little Caesars during the day where it was like the last day of school, and we had hell orders, and at one point it was just me and him for like 2 hours, and this dude cut 2 pizzas at the time. But hold on, he worked his ass off, but I remember he stopped giving a fuck about what the shape of the cuts were. It was like a round pizza like this, and they would do like a cut like that. Like, who the fuck's gonna eat a slice that's like
that's like a wave?
It's a wave. Yeah. Like, what the hell is this? And he's just going like, hey, remember that? Yeah. It was hot as shit. Like
I was a double-handed cutter with the pizza.
Oh my goodness!
I used to just come with, boom, let it go.
There was one pizza you didn't even cut, and we just gave it away. Send it out. Send it out. We gotta get it out of here. That was. So you were always a hard worker. I remember that. So that's why I was like, man. Like when I heard you were in jail, like wasted potential. Yeah. You know, but I'm glad you're out. And that's why I wanted to bring you out because like hopefully there's some young listeners who are. What would you say to them?
Shit. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
There you go.
You know, it's prison ain't no joke, especially fire camp either. People think it because you're fighting fires. It's something I could do it. No, man, you gotta be physically shaved, mentally strong for that. For sure. Prison, I remember prison. If you're not if you're not mentally strong, you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna go crazy. So I just say,
and a lot of guys do.
Yeah, hey man, if whoever's out there listening, man, just find a career or a business. You know, just find something to keep you busy, a hobby or something. Yeah. Cause prison ain't the place. It's not the place. It's just me. I feel like doing the time wasn't the hardest part. Being away from my family was. Yeah. That's what hurted me the most because My baby had just had her baby. I mean, my baby. My sister just had her baby, right? So I was so attached to her. You know how that was. I feel like that was my little child too. You know, so when they took me away from her, that hurted me the most.
I mean, that's your niece, man. It's close to it if you don't have a daughter already.
And then just being away, locked up, and then you're hearing a lot of stuff going on in the streets with the family and all that stuff, and you feel useless and helpless because you can't do nothing about it. You know, so you're pretty much out of the world. You're in a different world while stuff is going on in your world, you know, and you can't do nothing about it.
That's crazy. One of the people I know, when they were in prison, they told me, this is what it kind of, I always thought about this whenever I thought about doing something, you know, that would get me in trouble, is there was an older guy. He was in like his 60s. I was working at some plumbing place, and he said he was locked up for 20 years. While he was in there for those 20 years, his both parents died. And he's like, he couldn't come out to see, you know,
nothing.
And it's like, that killed him. Like, he was in there, and like he remembers during the funeral and during the whatever, and it's just like thinking about that, like, fucked them up in jail, you know, and that's I'm sure you probably had those thoughts too. I don't know.
I've had a few people that were lost out there, you know, when I was in there, and you couldn't even say bye to them, you know. So and then I feel like that's why camp was cool, because camp, the difference between camp and the yard, you could actually get visits where you could barbecue with your family.
Nice.
So you could, you know, play with the kids or whatever, you know. Camp, the yard, no, you're in a table in a crowded ass room with a lot of more inmates and their families, and you got the COs watching every move. So you can't even I can't be here, and my girl can't be here, because then the COs start tripping and harassing your family. Yeah. And then that's the thing, you're gonna see the COs try to harass your family, so you're gonna feel some type of way about it. Yeah. But if you try to do something about it, you're gonna lose your vis. It's too much. It's too much. And so camp, I feel okay. So another thing about camp, you get more programs. Like, you got wood shop, you get weights at camp.
Oh, they don't do
weights in prison no more.
Yeah,
but you get weights at camp.
That ended recently too, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when Schwarzenegger was governor, he used to go into the prisons to work out with the weights with the inmates. They stopped that like 10 years ago,
something like that.
What happened? Someone get into it with weights?
Nah, they were just getting too big for them.
They were killing people.
Yeah,
I can getting huge.
I can see why you would want to not have access to strength training programs in the jail, because
they're getting stronger.
I mean,
what's
if
his name?
the CEO was a fat schlub who's stuffing himself with like 12 donuts a day, and
they're still in shape though,
is like 6'8" and hella buff, like the math don't work out.
We had a CO go in a 1v1 with an inmate at the camp. I remember he was a northerner, and the northerner was probably the most out of shape northerner I've ever seen, because those guys are
they work
machines,
out
bro. They're machines. Those guys are machines. So this guy went, the CO, I guess the northerner was carrying some shit on him. You know, he's trying to walk by the CO, and the CO kind of felt it, like, oh, you got something. Come here. Hey, you come here. And he was like, no, I'm gone. You know, try to run. And he tried to grab him, and they got in a little, like, just a little wrestling thing, and the CO was gassed out. He, and the northerner's just like,
give me my horse.
Yeah. And the northerner was like, bro, you're not going to drop me. He's just standing like, you're not going to drop me. And this was just hanging on to his, hey, go get help. And we're just looking at him like, you think we're going to go over there and get help for you, bro? Like, no respect, bro. No. You know, so it took him like the other CO ended up finding the other CO like still grabbing onto his like legs while he was doing walk, and so we were just kind of still watching there, like, what are you gonna do, you know? And this guy's just like, bro, let me go. No, I got you. No, you don't.
Now the COs are. I know the COs are like armed with like a nightstick at least. But I mean, how deep does it go? Do they have tasers? Do they have guns? I don't know.
They don't.
That probably would be ill-advised.
They don't carry guns.
Some do. Prison. You got guards that actually like on the towers on the roof. Well, they have to keep their eyes open, because like in a yard it's way more dangerous. So you will have to shoot an inmate if they're stabbing somebody. Oh, shit. So
even if they're fighting, right?
Even if they're fighting,
if they
don't stop fighting, because they don't know if you're stabbing them or not.
Right.
You know,
someone told me that, because I installed internet for a CO. She started telling me about the job. She said that one time these dudes were jumping one guy, and the guy just shot them all. Even the guy getting beat up, like, holy shit, like, because they don't want it to turn into something big.
Dang. Yeah. He even shot the victim.
And everybody's got to get out. Like let's say you two are fighting and I shoot at you both, everyone else has to drop. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
So
Lord.
there was my first few weeks in the San Quentin. Yard time there was like 2 hours, and then the yard. I don't know if for those who rode the ferry, there's that backyard in the back of San Quentin, right?
Yeah.
That's reception yard. That's where they send all the guys that are there sitting there for reception, because the main yard is in the front. So a yard's small. It's like the size of Richmond High's gym or something like that. And you got 250 guys in one yard, and it's divided in two. So you got 250 guys in one yard, and another few on the other side, right? So it's crowded, bro. You're like, it's a real crowded place.
Sardines.
Yeah, and it's, imagine having a lot of inmates crowded in one place. So I remember one day we had a northerner come up to us and was like, "Hey guys, we gonna handle one of our own. Just don't worry about it. Act like nothing's happening." Okay.
Jesus.
We were like, all right.
Like,
So then
take out your own people.
yeah.
Right.
So then,
Hey, want to see something cool?
yeah. So pretty much what he's trying to say is like, if you see us whoop our guys' ass, keep acting normal. Don't
Mind your
don't get
mind your
excited
business.
so you
yeah.
don't attract attention.
So for anyone that's in prison and is younger than 35 years old or 40 years old, you have to work out mandatory, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So we're in the yard and we're working out. I'm doing push-ups. We're working out and everything, and we see it. We're about to see it go happen. We're just acting normal. We're doing push-ups. So they're kind of walking the guy down to the end of the fence or whatever, and you just see one guy turn around and sock his ass. Bah! And now they're taking off on him, right? And the guard is just walking up there like nothing, because everyone's still acting the same, and they don't see this guy.
There's no panic.
There's no panic.
Yeah.
But everyone's kind of like keeping eyes on it, and they're just stomping this guy out, bro. They're fucking him up and everything, right? And we're just like, God, dude, the guy got so tired. He's throwing his punch like this, bro. That's how bad it is. And then once the guy, the CO, saw it, he shot a warning shot. And then after the warning shot, they shot a beanbag at him first. Beanbag hit him in the ribs, bro. All the way from the tower.
Dang.
Beanbag smacked him in the ribs, and he felt it because he stumped, and he still kept swinging. So the next one was a gunshot, and they just kind of like, all right, get on the floor.
Yeah, you would think after the warning shot, they'd be like, okay, they know we're doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop stomping the guy into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I know y'all
It's a
want
warning. Let's keep going.
No, we need to kill this guy. But it's hard to kill a guy with your bare hands that way, right?
He reminded me of something Danny
minute.
Trejo said this in an interview. I don't know if you've heard this, because they asked him how did he study acting. He said San Quentin prison, because he said
All my
he was
characters are the
joking.
same.
No, because he said like if they knew when there was going to be a rumble, you have to act normal.
Yeah,
he had to
right.
act, or like he said, you have to act normal. That was his acting school. He knows some shit's about to go down. He's just acting normal.
Yeah, man. It's,
That's hella funny.
Oh my
that
God.
reminded me of that.
But let me ask you this, if you don't mind. What did you do to land yourself in prison?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't.
It's like, I feel like it's not a sensitive top. Like
It's personal.
It's not personal, but I just felt more like it wasn't me. Because I'm not.
You were in the situation.
I was like, I got sucked in. I was honestly, I didn't get sucked in. I chose to do it, but I feel like I was under the influence when I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say it. I went down for a 2nd-degree armed robbery. Jose knows me. He knows I'm not the type to go and steal.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker, but
yeah.
I did it. I'm not gonna lie. I took responsibility for it, and I did my time for it. And that's something in life that I accept.
And the reason. Oh, go ahead.
Now, this is gonna sound small and petty, but there's a friend of mine who had a Facebook friend of mine who had posted on someone else's page. Someone had gotten out of jail for armed robbery, and they were like, they should have kept him locked up. And the debate became, well, why? Like, he served his time, he's done what he had to do, and then like the friend of mine went, well, see, the thing is, if you're actually going to go in and rob someone at gunpoint, then you probably intend to kill that person. That person should stay locked up for the protection of the rest of us. And I make the argument of, well, you go in there with a gun to ensure cooperation. You don't actually want to kill someone. Yeah. And then that person was like, well, I used to do strong arms without guns. So, But I mean, from your perspective, when you went in and did what you did, You weren't going in to actually kill someone, right? You were just like, yo, it's a scare tactic. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
I mean, you wanted to get something.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I mean, if
That's
you
the
have
last thing you want to do.
Yeah,
Right.
if
Because
you
it's
have
not, if you wanted to kill someone, you would just easily, you don't say nothing, just, you know.
Right, exactly.
And if you wanted something, it's easier to fucking do it with
Yeah,
the gun. I mean,
definitely.
I hate to say it, but it's
Yeah.
easy. I mean, you know, look around the world. Like, you know,
Right.
it's easier to do things with big guns, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
it's more of a, yeah, I mean, but like you said, you know what you did was wrong. And I know
Yeah,
I know you,
yeah.
you know.
I think to that though, besides that, I think
Yeah.
that there's also the opportunity to go in there, reflect, and come out a different person for sure.
Definitely.
You know?
And also, like in your experience, you could have just done time in the yard, and maybe got sucked in.
Sucked in into a
you
different
also
life. That's
you
true. Exactly.
and you could have probably left the camp at the first fire. Like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a way, this is also what I wanted to say with bringing you in. Like we would say to like, you know, servicemen, thank you for your service.
Right. Yeah. for
Because
sure.
I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
But thank you. No,
But yeah, for real, because that is like shit. You know, I to do that, it takes a lot. You know, regardless. And like you said, you could probably would have left.
Definitely.
You know,
you could have gone back.
Could have gone back to the yard,
and
like,
been like, whatever, man.
nah,
but
man.
You chose the
After the
harder route.
bear, you know, I would have been like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Chasing a fucking burning
Oh, my
rabbit, you know,
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a thing why I liked camp more because camp is like I said, it's an experience. They feed you better. You get treated more better than the yard. They definitely do feed you better.
yeah.
I mean, if you
that's the biggest thing for me.
yeah,
Hey,
bro,
food.
the
hey,
food has taste.
burn some more shit down. I'll put it out.
So camp fires, right? So like I said, you guys only heard about the big fires.
Yeah.
You guys don't hear about the little fires.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're on a let's say we're at a work spot or we're at the camp. Our camp has a radio all over the camp where you can hear the dispatcher go off all over the unit. So you can hear what's going on in the whole camp, you know, or the whole area, the whole county. So I'm gonna tell you guys about I feel like the most messed up experience I felt was the Santa Rosa fire, the 2017 in October. It was a Sunday. I remember that night we were actually it was windy as fuck. I remember that. It was like, you know, the last few days it was windy. It was something like that.
I had
just a
to
little.
work up there, like not right by the fire, but I could see the little because I had to
Yeah.
work installing alarms over there.
So that night, I remember like it was still yesterday, bro. That's something that still hasn't left my head because I remember everything from like everything that happened. We're at the camp. It's windy, and I remember me and one of my friends. We were just like, "Shit, it's fucking windy, bro." And our captain had used to tell us like, "Hey, still be ready. I know we haven't gone to fires in the last few weeks. It hasn't rained, so it's still dry."
Yeah.
So they know once you're working with Cal Fire doing fire camp, you start to kind of learn more stuff about the way fires work and all that stuff, you know. So it's funny because even now that I'm out, I still be keeping track of the fires that's going on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's weird.
Like you got to go put your shit.
Yeah,
on and
like I
go.
be trying to like I'm gonna go fight this fire. Wait, I'm not a captain.
The
What the
Batman
hell am I
light
doing?
comes on.
So that night, I remember it was like around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and we hear the radio go off. Vegetation fire by Calistoga, whatever. You know, it's about 2 acres spreading rapidly. So we're like, okay, 2 acres. But we felt the wind, so we're like, nah, bro, this ain't going to be 2 acres. Not even a minute later, she reports, no, vegetation fire now at 500 acres, spreading rapidly. We need all the help we could get there now. And they said that, and we're like, oh, yeah, we're going out. That weekend, we had another fire in Lake County that we were still working on, right? So we had 2 crews on that fire in like Clear Lake that were sleeping on the mountain because they were making sure that fire wouldn't kind of keep going. And we had 2 crews on 24-hour down. 24-hour down, it means that you were on the line for 24 hours, so you get 24 hours to rest. So we had two crews in our camp on the rest time. And then our crew was the only crew that was available for that whole unit around the time to just kind of make sure to go put out fires. So once we heard that, not even another minute later, she said that the fire was like about 2,000 acres.
Dang.
So it's been 5 minutes, the fire went from 2 to 2,000 acres. So now we're like, shit, you know? So then we get called out. So now we're driving towards Calistoga. And for those who've been towards Calistoga, Middletown, on the way up to Calistoga, once you pass Calistoga on the way up to like Middletown and Clear Lake, you go through a lot of curves. So about a few miles of curves, right? On the way down, we see a big orange glow in the sky. And I remember I was a swamper by this time. I was already with the captain and all that stuff. So I'm riding in the front, right? So I could see everything. So now I'm going down and I see that and I was like, holy shit, right? So we're going down and I remember we get down there and it's windy as fuck. And captain gets off. He goes talk to the chief, and the chief is like, go to this area. This is where you're gonna meet who's in charge, and they're gonna give you a task. So when the captain tells me to get down from the bus to help him back up, wind almost knocked me on my ass. That's how strong it was.
Fuck.
So we knew it was gonna be a bad night because even though CCV was shaking, right? So then they sent us to the Safari West Zoo. I don't know. That's like somewhere by Napa area, like Calistoga, like in the woods and all that stuff. So we're driving there and we're passing the fire. The fire's already over. By this time, the fire's 10,000 acres. So now we're driving to like on a two-way lane to the Safari West, and everything's burning. Trees are falling. It's like a movie. You're just like in a movie. So we're driving in there. You can feel the heat from the bus. Like you can feel the heat inside the bus and everything. And I remember the captain tells me, he's like, hey, tell the guys to be ready. And I kind of didn't want to open the window because I knew what they were going to be doing in the back. So I opened the window. Guys are smoking cigarettes in the back on their phones and everything. And I was like, hey, just be ready. And they were like, yeah, all right, turn it up. You know, because the radio, you can hear the radio. So they're like, turn it up. All right. So I remember we got there and we went to Safari West Zoo. And the owner of the Safari West Zoo came up to us and was like, I need help. Unlocking my animals in the cages. And the fire was about 5 minutes away from this time. It was coming down the hill. You could see it. And the captain told him, no, you got to get the fuck out of here. You're going to die. He told him that. And I'm just like, I'm over here like, bro, I've never witnessed this shit. What the fuck is going on?
Damn, like end of the world shit.
Yeah, right. And I'm just like, is he going to leave? And he's like, no, I'm not going nowhere. You know, I'm going to go release my animals. So the captain was like, all right, we're going. We're leaving. And I'm like, Cap, you going to leave him here? And he was like, I can't force him to leave if he doesn't want to leave.
It's true.
And I was like, shit, he's going to die. I'm thinking, fuck, we just left a dead man right here, dude. And the guy made it.
Wow.
The guy ended up.
Wait,
the guy ended
what
up.
kind of animals did he have? Like
A zoo. It was a zoo. A petting zoo.
Shit. Oh, a petting zoo.
A petting zoo.
I was like, fucking
Rabbits
He
and
ended up
hedgehogs and
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he saved all the animals.
Like. Oh wow.
he's a hero for that, man.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
hero.
That's beautiful.
I
But that's
kid you-
scary though.
I
Yeah.
know.
that's a movie too. Shoot.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it. But
That was God. That's what that was.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So then we're driving towards Montecito, and we got stuck. We got stranded there. We actually got stuck in the middle of a highway. Fire surrounded us. We thought we were gonna die. I honestly thought it was a wrap because of everything around us is burning. We had nowhere to go. Trees are knocking trees are pretty much like blocking our way in and our way out. We could hear houses blowing up, propane tanks going up, and we're just like, shit, we're stuck.
And you guys are still working.
And no, we were still inside the CCV. We couldn't even get down because there was nothing to work on. Everything was on fire. So we were just like, we can't even put no scratch. Like, we're gonna die. The wind is blowing the fire past us, and all we could hear on the radio is it's going towards Santa Rosa.
Damn.
Right. So somehow they ended up making a way out, and now we're driving towards Santa Rosa, and we could still see the fire. It was just like a fucking tidal wave, man. It was just going, and once we started driving into the town of Santa Rosa, it was chaos. It was like a movie. It's just you see everyone running for their lives, driving, trying to get out, and we're just like, fuck, what are we gonna do? And the researchers are just telling us like, hey, don't even try to put out the fire. We can't stop it. It's moving too fast. Get everybody out. Everyone has to get out of Santa Rosa right now. So now we're just driving around trying to make sure that everyone's leaving the areas because there was no point in trying to stop the fire because we were going to be in more danger trying to fight the fire than stop it because it was moving so fast because of the wind. It was just going to run us over. So now we're driving around, making sure everyone's out, and out of nowhere, with the snap of a finger, we're inside a burning neighborhood. All the houses were burning. We can't even see in front of the windshield. Captain started driving into the sidewalk.
Jeez.
So we had to back up slowly, and we were out there for like 3 nights, 3 days, working nonstop.
Dang.
Trying to put out once we got the area where we were going to, they told us you guys got to start clearing this area because then they had a plan. They were like, we're gonna back burn it. So those who don't know what a back burn is, you start a fire to fight the fire. So
okay.
they made us clear like a long way like down that Montecito the road. We had to clear the whole 2-3 miles just from the edge, so nothing over kind of jumps over it, because we were gonna burn all that area to fight it, which worked effectively. I'm not gonna lie, it did. It worked effectively.
And they say you can't fire with fire.
No, that's one of the main things they use too.
Yeah, that's wild.
I wonder what the science is behind that, because it sounds counterproductive. It's like, you know what's gonna work? More fire.
Like, no, well, you remember we watched that movie, Sorcerer?
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
they put out the oil fire, they dropped the TNT.
Yeah.
And that it knocks all the oxygen.
Well, the way you fight
makes
fire, it's common sense. You know, you start a fire,
Yeah.
it starts going up to the fire that's coming down.
Right.
Fire meets fire, that has nothing to burn.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just gonna die out. So we were cutting there for 2 days. We slept out on the vineyard, so it was fucking cold as shit. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was sleeping by the fire one day, and I think I had my boots in the fire, bro.
Damn.
I woke up tripping because I thought my boots were on fire.
That was the first fire that felt like apocalyptic.
That was
style.
for me
That's what
personally,
fucked you
yes.
up.
For me, it was because I was like, shit. Because then the captains kept talking about it. These fires are gonna get worse and worse, and this was back in 2017.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Dang.
But it's funny because it's when you're with the inmates, it makes it fun more.
Yeah.
It makes the job funner because
Yeah.
you guys don't give a shit. Hey, cut that shit down. No, don't cut it. Fuck it, cut it. You know, all right, you know.
And you go to the abandoned houses looking for food.
You had guys that we heard about. You could hear stories from the COs that they were reporting that there was another camp that had a gang of guys break into a
fuck.
a mansion.
Damn.
A mansion, and they actually stole the shit. I don't know what it was, and they actually ended up finding it like 2 days later at the camp.
Oh my
Jeez.
god.
So
Just
I mean,
messing it up for everybody else,
Right.
though.
That's what I'm trying to put an example when you make them look bad.
Yeah.
You see, so it's like
it's a group of all it takes is one fucking
person,
guy to
for sure.
make anything look bad.
yeah. So like RCOs, I mean, there was shit at our camp, right?
Yeah.
There was shit at our camp, a lot of shit that I can't probably describe. RCOs were more like, we know you fuckers are doing it.
But we don't see it.
We're not gonna come look for it, but we catch you, we're gonna book you.
Right.
Simple. Just put it away when you see us walking around.
Right.
Yeah.
Type of shit.
Like
you
be
know?
responsible. Like
Exactly.
that's an adult
Exactly.
adult kind of like we're on the shit. Yeah.
So it's like we were out on the fires, bro, and it was like that. I remember that day we were back burning towards this fire, and everybody wants to burn shit. So everyone's trying to fight for the fucking thing that's like that starts a fire. So let me burn it. And then it's funny because the captain. I remember the captain almost left us. Right, the fire was creeping on us so bad it actually didn't jump, but we were able to stop it. Captain got on the bus because some of you guys are gonna laugh when I tell you this. Our captain, he's retired now. Our captain was 65 years old, and he was 350 pounds, and he was 5'5", 5'4", bro.
How is that man not dead? Go on.
But this guy, maybe 300 is too much. But he was like 280, 280, right? But he was a big guy.
Yeah.
Funniest captain I've ever done time with, bro. This motherfucker used to talk more
Don
shit than an
Rickles.
inmate, bro.
Don
So,
Rickles.
This guy, and it's funny because he had a little funny voice. You know, we were walking and he sees a fire and he's like, "Shit, fuckers, get in the bus. We're leaving." So we're all trying to go to the bus, and then he gets in the bus and forgets about us and starts driving off. So we're like, "What the fuck?" And we're like, "Hey, hold on." So now we're running after the bus and the fire's coming.
That could be a show.
The captain's just like, they're expendable, whatever. We'll just get some more.
We're
from
all
the
gonna
farm.
die.
So then, it's funny because we got there and I told the captain because we used to talk shit to the captain. What the fuck, Cap? You fucking left us. You guys too slow. So it was like,
Oh man.
So he said that they're gonna get worse over time, huh?
they're saying that. I mean, you can see it. You can see it. I mean,
yeah.
even being there because my first fire season 2016 wasn't too bad. It was, you had the biggest fire was 2,000, 10,000 acres. Now we're talking about 200,000 acres. You know, so it's like, they're really getting out-resourced.
So are you planning on going back into working fires?
I actually applied.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's hope you get it because that's scary, man. I thought about when I drove through one of those cities that was burnt, and it was fucking like
No,
it was
man.
it was. I mean, I didn't see it burning, but I saw afterwards, and yeah, dude, that was fucked up.
I think the thing that traumatized me more about that fire was being in the front and I used to hold the radio. You could hear the dispatch and you hear everything that's going on, all the calls. And I just kept hearing, "Oh, we got a call. Family stuck inside their home, and they can't get out." That was an area we were working that area, that fire. there was a neighborhood where all the houses were behind a creek, and the only way over was a little wooden bridge.
Oh.
So the bridges got burnt.
Yeah.
And they couldn't leave.
There's a lot of those in that area.
Yeah, and there's
Wild.
yeah. So then everything around them was on fire, and they couldn't drive away. If they tried to run, they were getting outran by the fire. So.
And then the little like if it's like those little bridges, there's hella like vegetation.
Exactly.
So you walk through it for the fire.
Yeah. So all those calls that we heard that night, they ended up passing away.
That's a lot.
They got
That's
trapped.
a lot to deal with. And
So
to hear.
I think that's what kind of was like, fuck. And all you could hear is the resources just say, we're doing all we can do, man.
Yeah, because they send fire departments from all over, huh?
Yeah, and it took them we got all the help. I think that night we probably, and it was late already. So by the time they got the calls, they didn't get there till the morning. So by this time the fire's already 50,000 acres. By the time they pulled up, the next day we didn't get help from down south until 2-3 days later. So by the time we got relieved, we started on a Sunday. We got relieved on a Wednesday morning, where they sent us back to camp to go rest.
I read a story on CNN about a family who was rescued by, inmate firefighters. And they were like, had it not been for them, we wouldn't be here. Did you have an experience where like there was a family or something where you successfully actually did save, like, I know you saved lives just doing what you were doing, but did you ever have that direct contact of like, yeah, we held the fire off this one house that one time?
Yeah, no, we, that Montecito road, there was houses on that road that we actually were able to stop from keep going. Because if we would have jumped over, Calistoga was going to be next. So we kind of saved Calistoga from doing that fire, that whole line across Montecito. But we've had, there's like, okay, for example, we've had times where we've gone to little small fires that you guys don't hear about, 5-acre fire where there's houses around and we're able to knock it off. So now the family is, hey, well, can we guys buy you guys, gym equipment, or
Can we put money on your books?
We're not, and the camp, well, as much as they want to do it, they're not allowed to accept it. So I mean, there's people out there that are grateful about it.
That's
like,
great.
hit me up on Facebook when you get out. I got you.
That part.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to my podcast. No, what I wanted to say, man, because we've been over an hour now, and like first of all, we appreciate you coming and telling a lot of the stuff. I didn't think you were gonna tell whatever, but like you went in for something that you did, of course that was bad, and now look at all the shit you did there, like you fucking saved lives.
And then can I also just say, like, I just met you and I don't even know you, but it definitely says a lot of your character and your work ethic for sure, because I feel like ultimately you seeked out those opportunities. If people would have been like, there were people telling you to go to camp and to try and do that, but at the same time, like, I think it just shows your perseverance, like keep going, and you did that. So I think that's dope.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
That's what it's. I've always said, prison, aside from being just a punishment, should also be a place of reformation and transformation.
Redemption.
I mean, there's some people that are so ingrained in a certain way of life, or they have some sort of mental condition like psychopathy, sociopathy. There's no helping them at that point if they're there. But for the average person that makes a big mistake or whatever, like yourself, or someone who maybe didn't have wrong place, wrong time, or even somebody who just didn't have the guidance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But has that opportunity to make that turn. I think that's what it's all about. It's like Governor Gray Davis had said when he signed in the ability for you guys to work with Cal Fire in the first place. He said, look, people should be allowed to serve their time, come out and work somewhere with dignity. And that is a quote that I definitely stand by. That goes with my values. Like, we should be cranking out so that you don't go back to doing what you did in the first place to get you in jail in the first place, And you're a success story.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I mean?
I
You're a
hope
success story.
so. People who are pushing for reform for prisoners, listen to this, man.
Exactly.
Because that is like the best case. Well, the best example of this shit works.
Exactly. It just needs to be certain things on the other side when you get out, like a guaranteed, like, we're not going to discriminate against you just because of your where your training happened. It shouldn't matter where your training happened, but the fact that you got the training and you have the experience.
And you're a hero.
Exactly.
I want to highlight that.
Hero.
You're a fucking hero.
Yeah, hell yeah.
From cutting pizzas to
Cutting trees.
cutting trees, man. Anyway, hey, but thank you for coming, bro. And
no problem. Thank
you
you
got
for
any
having me.
messages you want to send out? Any shout outs?
Shout out Swoop, and just shout out my family, my girl, everybody, man. Everybody that was there for me while I was going through those times.
Yeah.
And just if you got something good going on, don't mess it up, man. Because
Amen to that.
you can lose everything with a snap of a finger, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get back up if you ain't got it in you.
Yep.
So just
Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You guys got any shout outs?
Shout outs to anyone that's tuning in.
Yeah, exactly. And anybody out there who's had a similar experience or going through it right now.
Yep.
If you are listening to us on your cell phone on the prison yard when you know you shouldn't, hopefully this gives you some inspiration to apply for something that'll change your life around. It doesn't have to be firefighting. There are other programs, wood shop and all that. Get a trade, get something, come out and make the best of it for yourself and for your family.
just
While we're on that, so shout out to the person that told you to sign up for Campfire.
For real.
He thought about the meth, but
exactly.
shout out to that
He
Scante
knew how to
warrior.
market to you. He was like, look, man, there's drugs homes and stuff.
Oh man.
He's like still there advocating.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. We're out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was a good one, man.
Nice